Hope it's visible for all of you. Yeah, okay. Okay, right, let's begin. So thank you for attending the, I'm not sure how many events that I have already done for Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors, but I'm your host today. I'm Vendic. I'm a Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador beta level. And today we are going to learn how you can integrate Azure Custom Vision, which is a image recognition AI tools that is provided by Microsoft Azure, and connect it with Power Apps, which is another tools that is provided by Microsoft, where it helps you develop an application with a very low code scenario. So today the scenario that we are going to build is a diabetic retinopathy detection, which is when you submit a somewhat called X-ray of your eyeballs, it can identify whether you are facing diabetic disease. Okay, so that's what we will be learning today. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So cool. Right. So the prerequisites for you guys that wanted to follow along, you must need to have an Azure account with the free trial that's provided in the students. So how do you get that is can go here, student trial, I guess. Okay, yeah. So you can go here, just click on the start free, then submit your email and redeem your student credit. This is for the Azure end, which is on the custom vision, because we wanted to launch the items that is running. I can show you how does it look like. This is how it looks like. So this is the custom vision service that we need to build, where this is where we store our data. So this is how the data looks like on the diabetic recognition training data that we need, and so the predictions. This is how it looks like. This is your eyeballs, and you will see whether you are facing diabetic issues. And of course, this is the application that we are going to build. Okay, right. All right. Okay. So that's one thing, and the second thing is you need to have an account on Power Apps. So I would strongly suggest you guys to use your student email, because when you are redeem this, you are using your student email. So to make that connections more seamless, you are recommended to use your student email to log into the Power Apps. Let me just forward this link as well. So we will need to have an Azure account and also a Power Apps account. Okay, so these are the two things that we needed for today. We don't need to download any Node.js or anything. Okay, all right. So the learning objectives today, of course, first thing first, we will need to learn what is classification in terms of image detections. Okay, that's one. And then what is custom vision service, and how does it perform the classification and how we do it, and of course how we can build a Power Apps. Okay, so yeah, cool. So this is the example application that is provided by the Microsoft end, but today we will make it easier, because honestly we just need to we need an application that we can upload an image and scan it. We don't need to turn on the cam, because I can show you how it looks like for the application that Microsoft provides. Maybe is it in? Oh, it's okay. We'll go into that later. Okay, so yeah, that's basically it. And also how we do the classification is we need to categorize, is this the eyeballs that is facing the disease, or is this eyeballs that is not facing, which is normal, right? So these two of the class, that's why we are doing classification today. I guess later on I will cover on what is classification. Okay, so yeah, how Azure image classification works, right? So this is a context on one of the scenario, and I would say it's a very common scenario when it comes to classification. People normally go to the IVIS classification data. IVIS is a type of flower. Yeah, it's a type of herbs. So there are three categories that IVIS is being categorized into, like the common one. One is the Setosa family, and versicolor, and also virginica. So as a human brain, you will see like if I give you a flower that is known as daisy and another one is a rose, you can identify that, okay, this is rose and these are the daisies, right? So classification is the same concept, but we apply it to the AI. So the AI will understand the context by having us feeding the data to it. Like, for example, if I want a AI to classify, let me think, maybe potato and meat, right? So I will feed the AI with a bunch of images of potatoes and a bunch of image of meat. So with that being said, once the AI understand, okay, so these are the image that is recognized as meat, then when you are feeding it a new image, it will try to identify whether this is highly probability as a meat or as a potato. So that's what classification means, right? So yeah, this is the idea. So Setosa, versicolor, virginica, these are the training data. And when the user give the AI a new image of the Setosa, you can identify that, hey, this is the Setosa family iris. Okay, so yeah, so more context on it. How does the ideas work? As you know, images is actually a combination of pixels. So when you are, zooming in, you can see it will get pixelized, like with index 0, index 1, index 2. You can identify an image as an array of pixels. So with that, AI can change the training data into a vectorized numbers. And with that numbers, with the colors and everything, it can identify whether it's a banana, it's an apple, it's an orange. So that's actually how image classification works. Okay. All right. Yeah, this is some use case that is common in image classification, but I guess you can read through. So one is product identification, disaster investigation, medical diagnosis. Of course, there's a lot more. As long as you have the data ready for the AI to learn, then that will be working for you. Okay. All right. So we are going to understand what does Azure provides on the image classification tools. So for image classifications, Azure actually has a service called Vision, which we will be using today. It's a custom vision tools. And of course, if you want to know more about Azure AI tools, there are speech that works on NLP. So not only NLP, but also text to audio, audio to text, right? And language. So it can work on language translation and as sort of that. And of course, knowledge is more on the data that you provide to the AI, then the AI will work with the data that you provided. So today we are going to cover the vision tools, which is on the image classification. Okay, so this is a context of how we do the model training on Azure, where we are going to cover very soon. Okay, model evaluation. Yeah, I think let's start with the context. All right. So first thing first, I will need you guys to go to Azure. Okay. And make sure that you already have your account. Yes, let me just copy the link, portal.azure.com, paste it here. Okay. You just open this in your browser and log into the account that you have your student subscriptions ready. Okay. And then, so I will go with my TP email. Once we are in, I will need, okay. Do you guys need more time on setting up your Azure's account and also your Power Apps? If you need, you can raise your hand. Or you just want to see the demo, is fine as well, yeah. Okay, seems to be no one raising their hand. So I assume everyone already have your Azure account. Okay, so what we will need to do is we need to go into custom vision and click on create. Okay, so on the create side, as I mentioned, we are going to do image classification, right? Basically, we need to fit in training and also prediction. So how classification works? Classification is categorized as a supervised training in AI. So AI itself, they have three categories: supervised, unsupervised, and also reinforcement. So to give you more context of how AI algorithm works, supervised is an algorithm that you need to fit in a specific range of data, and you need to tell the AI that, hey, I want to do something. For example, in our case, we are going to fit in a bunch of images, and we are telling the AI saying that, hey, we have all of these specific categories of images. So I want you to identify what are the image that we are going to predict, right? And unsupervised itself is more like you are feeding the data, but you are not telling the AI what you want. So it's like, there's one common one which is called clustering. If, for example, if you have a data of books in the library, but you don't know what are the categories that are available. So what you do here, you throw all of your data into the AI, then the AI will try to figure out the categories of the books. Then that is called unsupervised, because you are not telling the AI a target that you want. And reinforcement itself is more on, the most common one is basically in the game, right? Reinforcement, they need an environment, and there will be an agent. So normally when you're playing like PvP games, and sometimes, you know, when the server doesn't have enough players for you to play with, it will give you an AI, right? So that's basically reinforcement learning models, where the AI that the company or the developers train, it will understand how the game works, then it will interact like a normal player. So that's reinforcement learning. But today we are going to cover supervised learning. Okay, so after you click on create on the custom vision, you just click on both. Then for this one, take the subscription Azure for students. And for resource group, we can use back the resource group that you have previously, but of course we can create new. So for example, if I go with like diabetic workshops, yeah, it doesn't give me to put a space, but yeah. Okay, so I create a new resource group. So resource group is basically how you control the cloud services that you wanted to host within Azure. And then region, we pick the one that is closest to us, which is Japan East. And name, let's just put it diabetic workshop as well. Okay. And then on the training pricing tier and the prediction tier, oh, the reason why I don't have your free, but you guys should see a free, is because I already host one custom vision items here, but let me just remove it so I can follow along with you guys at the same page. Okay, let me just delete this. All right. Okay. So once that is done, I should be able to launch my free instance. Okay, let me just refresh. Okay, reload. Fine. Fill in the data again. Let me just check whether there is free available. Yeah, that's a free one. Okay. So we will be doing everything free, so you don't worry about any charges that will comes in when you are done you are doing this workshop. Okay. So the same thing, I will create the resource group, and I will put the name of the instance. Okay. And then choose it to nearest to your country. Of course, if you are not residing in Asia Pacific, you can find the one that's nearer to you. Okay. And then oops, what happened? It's already been used, therefore there will be not. Okay, I got try. Okay, I guess there's some glitch on my end, because before I'm running this the account is already there, right? The instance is there, but yeah, we just pick one that I can select the free one. Okay, so once this is done, you just click on review and create. So this will be the endpoint that we are going to use to build our custom vision models. Okay. So in this sense, like the Azure custom visions does not need, like, you do not need to do any scripting, but you can just launch the AI instance directly. Okay. So, okay. So its deployment is in progress. I hope you guys are having this as well. Okay. So at the meantime, when this is running, anyone need help? Like you're stuck anywhere, you wanted to and get any assistance on it? Can just pin it in the chat if you need any help. I can raise you. I'll give some time to sign in. Okay, cool. Are you in yet? Gokula Krishnan? Yeah, Gokula Krishnan. Okay, so you see now my model is deployed. Okay, I hope you guys have this as well. So I give you guys a couple minutes maybe. Sorry, but the video is not visible on my end. I'm not sure. Maybe let me share the screen again. Hopefully you can see it now. Okay. Tianyu, can you see it? Is the screen sharing? Not yet. Maybe can you try to toggle the chat? See, does it work? Or else, is there a way to train this model? There are ways to train it using if you are talking about custom models, then we will need to use another service. But you can see in Azure itself, right? I will just show you a context of it. So Azure AI services. Today, the custom vision, what happened? Okay. Today, custom vision itself is a model that is already trained by Microsoft, but we can customize it with our own data. But if you are talking about services where you can build your own custom models, you can definitely look into the, I think that's one. Let me see, does they put it here? AI intelligence, AI search, no. These are the services that is already trained by, okay. Azure custom models, custom AI models, customized with. Yeah, most likely OpenAI service you can do that, or you can run virtual machines to train your models. But in this context, it is more on you are building your own custom one. It takes 2 to 3 days for Microsoft to process. Oh, you are meaning that no, sadly no, because eventually the models that we are going to use today, we must base it on the Microsoft Azure itself. So that is not possible. But what I can do for you is I can share you the API key later, so you can use my API key to work with the whole process of the workshop. Yeah, I think that will work for you. Okay. All right. So anyhow, now the models is already deployed. And what we are going to do is we are going to go to customvision.api, I think so. .api, no, .ai. Yeah, we are going to go to this page. So you just need to log in with the, how will you send? I will send it in the chat. Yeah, don't worry. Okay. So this is the link where we are going to feed in our own data, and we are going to tell the models what we are going to do. Okay. So once you're at this page, customvision.ai/projects, just click on new project. Okay. Remember to log in with the same account that you are on in the Azure. All right. Okay. So just click on new projects. And then at this end, classifications, correct, multi-class, generate A2. And the project name itself, we are going to go with Diabetic workshops. Okay. So once this is done, you just need to click on create project. Is it running? Yeah, it's running. Okay. So now the project is up. You can see there are no training data yet. So to have the data access, I can just is it possible for me to put the link or the file here? Doesn't seem to be possible. Let me try to get the link. Yeah. I don't think they placed it here, but I can get the link for you guys. Just find for the link. So eventually there are two links that is available for us to have the data. Okay, so this is one. Just copy the link address. Yes. Microsoft Azure Access is needed for you to access that. So Gokula Krishnan, at the meantime, I think you can just see how we are going through all of this stuff when you have your account access. But eventually, this process is what you are going to do if you have the access. But don't worry at all, because I will do everything on the training and the predictions itself. But later you can follow along on the Power Apps end. Okay. Yeah. I can give you the API key, so don't worry. That will comes later. It will be a long process before that, right? So let me get the other link. Right, so on these two links, I will need you guys to download the folders. Okay, so these two links will be the folders that have our diabetic eyeballs data, okay, where we are fitting into our models. Okay, I give you guys a few, maybe 1 or 2 minutes, maybe 9:04. But at the meantime, anyone needs any help, or is the screen up for Tianyu? I'm not sure is it. I hope you can see the screen already. Because I don't think it's the issues is happening on my end. Not yet. Okay, all right, cool. Okay, so for others, you can just download the data that is available. But at the meantime, I'll just show you guys how the data looks like. All right. So this is the one that comes with the data on Kaggle. And this is the one that comes on data on the second link, which is the existing model. We don't code. Yes, correct. Yes. Okay. The data that has it in FAU, I'm not sure what is the university, but the data is available here. Okay. So these are the normal eyeballs, right? And then in the 1000 images that comes on the Kaggle itself, these are the eyeballs that are having the diabetic disease with DR1, DR2, DR3. Okay, and the normal is the healthy eyeballs. Okay, so these are the data that we are going to play with. All right. Yeah, I give you guys 1 more minute to download the data. Okay. All right. Cool. So I hope you guys already have the data, but if you don't have all of them yet, you can follow once you have it. But I think for the healthy data is very small, the file. So I hope you guys already have that. So the first thing we are going to do here, we are going to put in our healthy eyeballs data. So just go unzip the zip file, then place all of the healthy eyeballs data here. Okay, so you can see once the images are added, we are going to give it a text. So this text will serve as the identification of the class. For example, like previously I give you a context of recognizing potatoes and meat, right? So you can classify like this is my meats, then you can upload the 15 files that categorize as meats. But in our case, of course, it's the normal eyeballs, right? But I think we can go with negative tag because in medical context, positive means that you have the disease and negative means that you don't have it, right? So this is a normal one. So just type it in negative, it doesn't appear the pop-up for you, but if it does, just click on the negative, all right? So upload the 15 files. Will take a few seconds to upload that. So yeah. So now we have all of the healthy data for training our models, okay? Will we have two classes? Yes, we will have two classes. Send one more time the data and the link. Oh, okay, cool. So this is the Kaggle site for you to download the image of the eyeballs that is facing the disease, and these are the data that is normal. Yeah, we will have two classes for this use case. So let's say if you are doing a new project where you have like multiple different classes of, for example, pets, right? You have dogs, you have cats, you have maybe crocodile, right? So with that being said, like hamsters, you can fit every data here with a specific text that recognize it as the class. So that's the concept of it. But in our use case, because we only have two recognitions, one is whether they have the disease or whether the eyeballs doesn't have it. So we just need a positive and a negative. Of course, you can custom the text that you want, like these are a diabetic one and these are a normal one. That works as well, right? Explain the data once again. Uh, so I think I will explain it through actions. So now we already have our eyeballs that are normal, okay, which is categorized as the negative one. And we are going to upload the eyeballs that are facing the disease, right? So you click on the, I think it's from the archive.zip. Then once you unzip it, it will be 1000 images. And click on DR1 and upload everything that comes in the DR1. Okay. So these are positive because they are facing the issues. Okay, so once the text is there, my images is up, can upload 18 images. So now you should have two class. One is the one that is facing disease, and the negative is the one that is normal. Okay, so you can see here. And of course, if you want your models to be more accurate, what normally the AI practitioners will do is you will feed more data to the models. And of course, there are ways on like fine tuning and everything, but we wouldn't go through that today. But we can add more data to make our models more accurate. So what we'll do is we'll go to the 1000 images, click on the normal one. So let's just submit all of the normal one as negative. Okay. Upload everything. Yeah, this might take a while because it's double of the numbers that we have just now. Okay. And then we can add the DR2. You can take everything that is false in the DR2, classify it as positive as well. Okay. So now you should have 52 negative images and 65 positive images, supposing. Okay, let me see. Oh, 64, because there are duplicates. Okay. What is the default algorithm? I don't think they place it in their documentations, but because normally if they don't put it out means that they don't want to disclose what models they are using, like what algorithms and sort of that. But eventually, normally when we are doing like image classifications and object detections, I would say CNN algorithm is widely used for images processing, and maybe some of them will prefer like YOLO, you only look once. And of course, there are a lot more. If you want to dive deeper into that, you can Google search or even ask ChatGPT right nowadays. So that are the most common one. Yeah, CNN is better because like how the algorithm is being structured and everything. Yeah, So you can look into details of how the algorithms work. I wouldn't touch it today because it will be very complex for the one that is like very new to AI, right? So yeah, now you should have the negative data and the positive data. So now what we are going to do, we are going to train our model. So train, click on quick training. Just go into that. So now it will train our models with the training images that we have. All right. Okay. So training might take longer than how we upload the images. Okay. Of course, you can fine tune on the probability threshold if you wanted. And later it will have a glimpse of how the algorithms works well. We should look into it. Okay. So now we have done the image uploads. And then this is what we'll look at later, the models evaluation. So this is the context of how it looks like once you train your models. Microsoft and the custom vision, it will show you a precision rates, recall rates, and the AP rates of how your models works. And it will have information on how what does the values means. Okay, so we will let it run for a while, where I will show you guys how does it looks like in the real action. Okay, so I give it a couple, maybe 1 or 2 minutes. But in the meantime, if you guys have any questions or you need any help, then you can let me know, right? And the one that is facing issues on claiming your Azure credits, don't worry, I will paste my endpoint and so my API key in the chat later. Okay, 2% is typing. Guess it's still running. Okay. So once this model evaluation is done, right, we actually need to publish our models. And we can also test the predictions. You can see these prediction tabs, right? This is where you can test your models. Yeah. I think as of now it's still running because we have quite a lot of data. Okay. And then these are important things that we need to integrate with Power Apps later. Yeah. Do you have a GitHub repo? No, because for every actions that we are doing here, it's all stored in Microsoft Azure, and it doesn't really have any code. Like when you're looking at this as well, right? The code is embedded inside of the whole Power Apps like this, so it wouldn't be feasible for us to like get everything as a code. Yeah. So yeah. Okay, so now it's still running. Maybe we place too many data for it to work on that. Okay, maybe since this is still running, now we can set it on the front end, which is how the Power Apps looks like. And you can even publish the Power Apps. For example, right, I publish this description. Is it running though? Oh, I think my app disabled because just now I deleted the custom visions that I did here, right? So yeah, that's okay. Right, cool. Don't worry because we will work on it together. Right, so now let's go to Power Apps. I hope you guys have an account here because this doesn't really need you to have credits on it, just that the credits that requires is on the Microsoft Azure end. But since, okay, yeah, the result is here. Since the API I will be sharing to you guys later for you guys to work with it together. So for the one that doesn't have credits, don't worry. For the one has it, you can use your own. So you can get a glimpse of how everything looks like. So, okay, what does it tells you here on the performance? Okay, once this is done, right, it means that your training is already done with 64 data on positive and 52 images on negative. And it's saying that, okay, these models has a high score on precision. How likely is that to be right means that it has 100% confidence of the models can get, when you are feeding in the new prediction data, it can get the data correctly. And recall is, as you can see here, the number will tell you out of the text which should be predicted correctly, what percentage did your model correctly find. So I would say it's something similar to precision, but how is being identified and being defined is different. Okay, so for context, right, I think that's a very good images that explain this well. Let's show you precision recall. I think we can look at so recall. It's about the confusion matrix of, yeah, this one. I'll just share this link to you guys so you can look at how it differs on the confusion matrix of the, what is it, true, false, and that's terms. Correct decision. Is it running? It's running a bit slow on my end. Is it possible for me to just get the image? Yeah, true positive, and the false positive. Okay, so let me just send this forward to you guys. So this is how precision recall is being identified. Okay, and if you want to know more about true positive, false positive, true negative, false negative, it's basically how the models identify whether it's predicted correctly with the training data and the prediction data, and also if this is something correct but the models is something false in the normal category but the models give a wrong which falls in the false positive, if I'm not wrong. But because it's been a while, I'm looking at how the theory works, so I kind of forget how it's being identified on that. But definitely you can look into it more accurately, like how the theories is being structured, how precision is being identified, what is true positive, false positive, because these are actually the basics of how AI works, especially in supervised training. So yeah, this is some context of what are the items here. And AP is another way of identify your model's words. You can look into it as well, but AP itself, I think is only there for classifications, because each of the algorithms like classification, forecasting, the metrics that they calculate, the accuracy is different. So for classification, the metrics that is identified is like the most suitable metrics to identify whether your models is working well as precision, recall, and AP. Okay, so what we are going to do here, once our model is trained, we are going to publish our models. So iteration 1 correct, and select this as the resource, the prediction resource. So just publish it. So give it a few seconds. Okay, so now once this is published, you can see now prediction URI is available. Of course, before we head into the development, right, you can click on predictions. This is where you can test your data. So we go with your quick test and we get the browse local files. Since we haven't used the DR3 files, we can place one of the images. I hope it works correctly here. Yeah, you can see, because DR means that the eyeballs is detected to have the diabetic disease, right? So since we doesn't have the DR3 data in our training data, now we can use it for the predictions. We can test the model whether it's working well. So as according to this, you can see once we uploaded our eyeballs that actually have the disease, it's identified that, hey, 99% I'm confident to say that this eyeball is facing the disease. Okay, so seems like our models is trained well and it can predict confidently correct. So what we are going to do now is on the UIN. So open your Power Apps and click on create. Okay, Power Apps is a low code yeah, it considered low code, but very minimal code. So low code platform where you can build your application on top of the whole Microsoft ecosystem. Okay, of course you can publish it as a mobile application as well by having your mobile apps download the Microsoft Power Apps application in App Store and Play Store. Then you can browse your apps that you build by publishing it. Anyhow, so you click on create blank app. We'll start with the canvas. So blank canvas app, and we will go with phone, and we maybe call it diabetic workshop. Okay, then we create. So this will run in a very short while, and if this appears, just click on skip, because the items that we need is actually not much on the UI end. I hope everyone has your Power App ready. Yeah, iOS position. Yeah, thanks for that. But I can look into the details, like how everything is being calculated and theories, and because if you are heading into the AI field, that is definitely a basics that you really need to master. Eventually, in the end of the day, if you are working as an AI engineer, you wouldn't be relying much on API or SDKs that a company, a third-party company built for you, like maybe TensorFlow or anything. Most of the time, the company will ask you to build your own custom model. So you really need to know how does everything is being calculated and stuff. Okay. Okay. So now you have this Power App, and the first thing that we need to do is we are going to connect to the data that we have in the custom vision. Right. So how do we do it? You can see here on the left side, there's a add data. Just click on add data and we search for custom vision. Okay. And click on custom vision. And by default, you guys shouldn't have these three connections ready, because this is what I have been doing just now when I'm preparing the content and stuff. Okay. So just click on add a new connection. So this is where I will share the prediction key and also the site URL. But if you already have your instance ready, then you can use your own data. Okay, so with this publish custom vision app, click on the prediction URL. And for the, what does it call? For the site URL, we are going to copy the HTTPS, okay, until.com. Okay, so site URL is this. And I'll share this to you guys as well. Yes, correct. Of course, that's the easiest way for you to like understand the context of how a model is being built by looking into the source code of the other frameworks, right? Anyhow, okay, now you have the site URL ready. And then how do we get the prediction key? The prediction key is here. So for whoever that doesn't have your credits ready, you can just use my prediction key and my site URL. Right, so prediction key site URL, just click on connect. So once this is done, our connection is done, but our UI is still empty. Okay. Is anyone facing issue as of now? You can raise your hand or you can place it in the chat so I can help you guys to resolve. But for the one that wanted to see how things works, how the demo works, then you're cool to sit down and share. Yeah. Okay. Seems to be fine. Right, cool. So now what we are going to do here, we already have the connections ready. Okay, the API is there. Now what we are going to do, we head back to the tree view. On the left end, you can see there's like a stack of the views, right? Then I click on that. We are on screen 1. So the first thing that we are going to place is you click on the insert, find for upload, oh no, image, what does it call? let me find input. That's one for us to upload the image. Let's find it via create display a media. Yeah, add picture. So you can find for add picture and just click on it. So now we have a component where we can add picture in our application. Okay. Okay. So we have this component, and you can see by default, once this component is added, it's actually a stack of a button. So when you click it, it will trigger the add image functions, right? For example, if I do this, you can see when I'm triggering this, yeah, you can see this is how it works. And also for the images that is added, it will store in the uploaded image one. Okay. So the next thing that we need here, we need a scan button where it triggers when we click it. And another thing that we need is we need to show the values. So we'll use a gallery. Okay. So let's add the items that we needed. Click on insert, find for button. Okay. Let's click on it. And of course, you can change the design, like the colors and everything if you wanted to. Of course, this as well and the position. But I will leave it as the default. Okay. But this button, maybe you can change the stack to the text to scan, right? And then the next things that we need to show the result of the analysis, we put a gallery. Okay. Gallery, get the blend vertical gallery. Okay. So add a data source. I think you guys have this as well. So click on advanced, trigger the gallery one, right? Click on advanced, find for default, we put predict call. Smaller letters. Okay. So now it will show as a error as of now, because it's not integrated with the prediction values that we are going to place yet. Okay. So you need to have this as a variable for us to place the data in. And then on the properties, I will need you guys to change the blank to title and subtitle. Okay. And let's pull this down on the scan. Below the scan. Okay. Right. Somehow it has some data that is already there. I'm not sure is it possible for us to just see. I think most likely we need to. Oh yeah, sorry, my bad. So this default, this predict call, we change it with the items. Yeah, this is supposed to be, yeah, this is the correct one. So these items is basically the variable that we are going to use to pass in our predictions values, where the values will be shown in this gallery component. Okay, so how the process works, right? Once you upload the image, you click on scan. This will trigger our custom vision. And with the passed in value, you will place it into this gallery. Okay? Okay, cool. So now what we are going to do, we go click on the scan button. Okay? Scan button, find for on select. So on select is like a on click function on HTML, or like if you are using JavaScript component, you should know when you click a button, it will trigger a on click function, right? So in Power Apps, it's called on select. Right now it's false. It doesn't have any function that we run. So what we are going to do here is find for clear collect. Okay, clear collect, and then a bracket. Then place the variable that we put in our gallery. So it's called predict call. Okay. And then the next thing is we are going to trigger the custom vision dot classify image v2. Okay, and for this custom vision SDK that we are using in Power Apps, you can see it requires a project ID, a publish name, and also a file. So how do we get these details? We head back to where we place our data in. Click on the settings. So these settings will have our project ID. Okay, so let's grab the project ID, place it into the first column as a string. Okay, the project ID. Yeah, expand this. Okay, yeah. So to make it more readable for you guys, custom do this. Okay, so once we have the project ID, we need the publish name as the second row. If I remember correctly, the space will be depleted. So the models that we deploy is called iteration 1. Of course, you can custom the name when you are deploying it, but in our case, since we are using the default one, so iteration 1, but without the space. Okay, and then the file itself, as I mentioned right just now, in this add media, add image component, the value will be stored in uploaded image 1. So let's just type uploaded image 1, then close the brackets. Just close these brackets first, then close the second brackets. And then now you should see errors because we haven't target the exact value inside of it. So uploaded image 1.image. So now the function is ready. Let me just copy this for anyone that missed out how to type it in. So this is how you type it in for the button on the scan. Right, so once this is done, let's just save it. And the last thing that we need to do here is on the values. So now these are being stored as the default one, but since we are passing in our custom variable with the specific values that we pass through the API, right? The custom vision API. So now it's saying error because of the key values of the response that we are going to get. It wouldn't have a sample text. So the first thing I will need you guys to go to the title one, and this dot item dot let me think. What is it? Selected predictions. Let me just refer the code that I have just done here. So this dot item dot tag name. So on the title, we place this dot item dot tag name. Why is it showing errors? Check it real quick. Yes, predict call. And then this will triggers and place it to predict call. I think it's because of the space. It's okay. Let me just check what is wrong, because supposedly it shouldn't show the error. Let's predict call. Maybe we change the subtitle again. Okay, so this is what we are going to place in our title. Okay, your title one. Let me just place it in. And in title 2, we are going to put subtitle 1. We are going to put the percentage of the predictions. So this is how it looks like. Just paste this to you guys as well. Okay. So it's going to round up the probabilities that is predicted. Then times 100 means we make it into a percentage. Then it should be working. Okay. Let me check real quick. Something is wrong somewhere. Okay, so advanced, we are going to place the predict column. The default. Let's check with the one that I done. Yeah, it's a gallery call. think it shouldn't be having issues though. Is anyone doesn't facing issues on this end? Because supposingly, maybe because of data source? I don't think so. I don't think so. Okay, maybe you click on the data source. We put the predict code and just enter. Does it work now? Let me check. Yes, false predict call. Maybe I try to trigger the application. So to how to trigger everything, right? On Windows is Alt and click, okay? On Mac is Option and click it. Or if you prefer to see in a non-editable view, this is how you can run the application. Okay, so you just need to click on this, you run it. So you just click it, then replace one of the values that is having the diabetic issues from the DR3 folder. Okay, and then we click on scan. Is there any errors? It doesn't have any errors and doesn't show anything. Let me debug real quick. Okay, something is wrong somewhere. Let's see. Name isn't valid. Okay, select the parent text around this item, the probability. The connection is there. Anyone doesn't face issues on this end? Or is it only me? Let me just see. Okay, why I remove this next? I doesn't think it helps. Yeah, the item is predict. Or we try to change the variable to gallery call, which is exactly the same as what I have in the code that I created. Let's change this to gallery call. Nah, it's not working. So predict this, pass in the project ID, the publish ID, and then the image. Okay, when you click it, it will run the clear collect. Let me see. This app is read only. You can try editing by refreshing the page. Let me just refresh and see. This is the previous one that I did. This always happens in demo. Let me see. Gallery code selectable. Rectangle subtitle is probability and the title is nothing. ID iteration project. I think the connection is there, but somehow it's not providing the values that I want. Check, cross check with here. Oh, my bad. Okay, so once this custom vision is classifying, and this is an action, right? This is a function that classify it, but we are not getting the predictions. So just need to dot predictions, then now everything should work well. Yeah. Okay, let me just copy this for you guys. Right. And then let's try the application now. Okay, so you can run, oh, this is the previous one. Okay, so you can run this. Just now we already placed the image. Of course, if you want to change it, you can change it accordingly. Then you click on the scan. And voila, you see? Now we have our integrations ready. We can see the values of the predictions directly on our application. If you want to publish it, that works as well. So you just need to click on this, and then description, maybe this workshop. showcase, I guess. Publish this version. Then let me hit back. Let me see, is it possible for me to get the link? Then you guys can try it out on your end as well. So I click on share. Send an email. No. Let me just check real quick. But eventually you see how does things work, right? When you are connecting your custom vision and how you can trigger it in your Power Apps. So eventually the Power Apps items here is directly connected to the whole Microsoft ecosystem. So any Microsoft tools like 365 or anything, you can just connect with your Power Apps, and it's low code. You can work with the designs as well, okay? And also how you can connect everything with all of the functions that's available here, and how you can declare variables, right? And everything make it easiest with low code front end. Then the integration itself, we are doing custom vision. So today we have learned how we can launch a custom vision instance in Azure, and also how we can fit in our own data and make it function specific, right? If you want to upload your own, maybe you wanted to predict a refrigerator and a fan, right? So yeah, you can change it accordingly. Then you can train it. So the whole process is very easy and very seamless, and everything is done in the cloud. So yeah, that's a good thing of why we should use the cloud tools, and Power App makes everything easier. So let me see, did I not cover everything yet? Okay, so just a context, since we already learned Power App, but maybe you want to know more about the service. So Power Apps is basically how you can work on the apps, services, and connectors, everything done in a custom apps that you want to build, right? So connectors is what we have discovered today as well, where we made a connections with the data that we have in custom mission. If you want to see like more different one, you can connect to the Microsoft Dataverse, and you can also connect to multiple items like approvers. You can connect to your Excel, connect to your meals. So this is where you can do the connections, and you can even upload images where these images can, you can place it like how you build a website, right? You store the image on the assets folder, then you place it onto a website, and you can connect it directly to Power Automate as well. And this is where you do the variables, right? And also you can look at the monitoring, and these tools is very useful as well, where you can check whether application can work well, and you can see the accessibility. Is it user friendly for everyone? Like for the colorblind, can they see everything clearly, and everything you can see it through here? Performance is how fast is it, runtime, and also formulas. So yeah, that's some context of Power Apps. And Microsoft Dataverse is a data services that is provided by Microsoft, where it's one of the way how you can store data on Microsoft, other than you can store it on Excel or store it on Azure databases. But Dataverse is widely used in the whole Microsoft ecosystem. But you can look through it if you want to know more, where if you are using like Power Apps, Power Automate, Dataverse makes it even easier. Yeah, like how you wanted to store everything in caching or in your memory, right? So you can look into it definitely. And of course, yeah, building builds. Okay, App Studio. So there's some context of what you're looking at inside of your Power Apps, right? That's the left panel that you can see, like the sidebars that we have. You can work on the views, can work on the connections. And the middle one is basically where you can see like what is the items that you can add and what is the values, right? And the right panels is where you can work on the options of the properties and the functions. Okay, and other than that, yeah, I think that's basically it for our workshops today. Hope you guys learned something out of it, and hope you guys can follow along. If you can't, don't worry, I will share the recordings to whoever that joined the meeting, right? So yeah, that's basically for our integrations of custom vision and power apps workshop. If you guys have any question, feel free to pin it in the chat, or you can unmute yourself. Anyhow, see you guys around. We still have a lot of events coming up in in the future. So if you have any questions, you can ask it in the chat. If everything is good, and we are going to end the session at 9:50. Okay. So yeah, in the meantime, if you guys have any questions, yeah. Yes.
Can I get the code, please? I actually missed the session.
It's not a code base. So basically, right, you can see this is a low code platform where you need to drag and drops, and also Microsoft Azure Custom Vision, you need to deploy your own instance. You need to work with the training images on their platform. So yeah, it doesn't really have a code base for everything. Yep.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Can I send last recording? Did you attended the session? Because the recording is only available for whoever that attended live. Yeah. Then maybe I didn't get your email. Maybe you can send me your email here, then I can cross check with the emails that attended the previous session. Yeah. Like cross check the name itself. I can send your email. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, I will get access to the chat later as well. So yeah. Okay, I will forward to you if I see your name in the previous call. Okay, no worries. Okay. See a few of you is still typing. Yeah, this recording of this workshop will be sent to whoever that attended today. So don't worry at all. Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Just in case if you're scared, because the previous workshop, right, I saw a lot of names that doesn't attach with their email. Maybe you guys didn't log into Teams and you joined the meeting. So in case you scared that you don't have records on that, you can just put your email in the chat. Then I will reach out to you guys later on the recordings. Yeah. Okay. So other than that, we still have 3 minutes if you guys have any questions. Okay. If no questions, then yeah, you're free to go. When is the next session? So all of the events is actually published on Luma. Let's open it real quick. You can see I have a pipeline of events coming up. The next one is in August 10, which is a Python HTTP API, where we will work with Fast API and build it on GitHub code space. And then we are going to touch August 11. We are going to work on data cleaning with Python and VS Code. Then 24th, we will look into something about Gen AI, right, on Azure. And September 2, we are going to do JavaScript portfolio, which is on the ad with GitHub code space. Anyhow, if you need the link, I'll just paste it here. Yeah. So if any of the events spark your interest, you feel free to tune in. And I will always send a reminder before, like 30 minutes or 40 minutes before the event for whoever that registered as going. And of course, I attach it in the description as well if you notice. Yeah. Okay. Okay. And yeah, I guess that's basically it. Thanks for attending and see you guys around. Okay. Right. Just unshare screen, stop recording. Okay, I will send